Hello guys, see you again with Qinima Sports. Just like other martial arts, the UFC also has a list of weight divisions to match one fighter to another. While in the UFC, it has 8 weight divisions for men and 4 weight divisions for women. The lightweight division in the UFC is famous for its very tight and hot competition, as evidenced by the many division rulers who change frequently. And here are the rulers of the lightweight division from the beginning until now. Jens Pulver. When the UFC was still a wilderness and the crown was yet to be found, Jens Pulver will always have his place in the UFC history books. That's because no one has held a lightweight belt before. At UFC 30 in 2001, 2 fighters met for the vacant crown. They were Jens Pulver versus Cal Uno. Jens Pulver won the match via unanimous decision in 5 rounds. Pulver, who became the new king of the lightweight class, had no time to relax, because 7 months later, the challenger, Dennis Hallman, came to seize the throne. Their fight was full of blood, but Pulver managed to defend his crown via unanimous decision. 3 months later, a Hawaiian known as the Prodigy came to claim the throne. They met at UFC 35, and once again Pulver managed to defend his throne. Pulver beat BJ Penn in 5 rounds. Unfortunately, the fight with BJ Penn was his last fight to defend the championship belt. Due to a contract dispute, Pulver left the UFC and joined Pride. Sean Sherk. Since Jens Pulver's exit from the UFC between 2002 and 2006, the lightweight division has experienced a power vacuum. Sean Sherk and Kenny Florian were the ones who took that chance at UFC 64. Sean Sherk managed to win the match via unanimous decision in a 5-round battle. Sean Sherk succeeded in becoming the second person to hold the lightweight throne on October 14, 2006. On July 7, 2007, Hermes Franca tried to seize Sherk's throne at UFC 73. Franca's attempt was unsuccessful. Sherk won via unanimous decision with 35 punches, compared to his opponent's only 6 blows. After his first title defense, Sean Sherk tested positive for steroids and was stripped of his title in December 2007. BJ Penn. Since the vacancy of the lightweight division throne, BJ Penn has held the welterweight belt, but finally lost in the defense battle against Matt Hughes at UFC 63. Now he is hunting for the lightweight throne, which he failed to take a few years ago. The former first ever lightweight champion has now returned to the UFC octagon. Penn met Joe Stevenson at UFC 80 and managed to win the fight via submission rear naked choke in round 2. On May 24, 2008 at UFC 84, BJ Penn met Sean Sherk and won the fight via flying knee TKO in the 3rd round. Then on August 8, 2008, Kenny Florian tried to take the throne at UFC 101 event, but the fight was won by BJ Penn via submission rear naked choke in the 4th round. Until April 10, 2010, BJ Penn's lightweight throne was taken by Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar. At that time, Frankie Edgar met BJ Penn at UFC 112, which took place on April 10, 2010. Frankie Edgar managed to beat BJ Penn via unanimous decision. Frankie Edgar, who has always been fit and doesn't rely heavily on knockout power or submission weapons, successfully defended the belt in his 2nd bout in a rematch with BJ Penn at UFC 118. In his 2nd title defense fight, Frankie Edgar met Gray Maynard at the UFC 125 event on January 1, 2011. It's a shame their fight ended in a draw, but the championship belt is still attached to Frankie Edgar. Until the next fight, Edgar managed to beat Maynard at UFC 136 via technical knockout in the 4th round. During his 4th title defense, Edgar met Ben Henderson at UFC 144 on February 25, 2012. That was the last time Edgar held the lightweight division belt, when he lost to Henderson via unanimous decision. In the next 4 championship fights, Edgar never won the belt again. Benson Henderson. Benson Henderson won the lightweight championship belt from Frankie Edgar on 25 February 2012 at UFC 144 via unanimous decision. A rematch duel was held 6 months later at UFC 150, and Henderson was able to win back the fight over Frankie Edgar via split decision. Not only Edgar, Nate Diaz was also able to defeat him via unanimous decision on December 8, 2012, in his second defense battle. On April 20, 2013, Gilbert Melendez met Benson Henderson at UFC on Fox. Once again, Benson Henderson was able to beat Gilbert Melendez via split decision. After 3 defensive battles, Henderson's lightweight belt was then captured by Anthony Pettis on August 31, 2003. Anthony Pettis won the lightweight throne from Benson Henderson in their second fight. Previously, they had met once at the WEC 53 event to fight for the lightweight belt, and the fight was won by Anthony Pettis. After that, Pettis met Gilbert Melendez at UFC 181 on December 6, 2014. But unfortunately, the champion belt he held had to be willing to be taken by Rafael dos Anjos at UFC 185 on March 14, 2015. Rafael dos Anjos. After fighting for 5 full rounds with Anthony Pettis, Rafael dos Anjos was ready to take over the leadership of the lightweight division on March 14, 2015. In the same year, leadership was tested by Donald Cerrone on December 19, 2015. Dos Anjos managed to win his first title defense via technical knockout in the first round. After that, Eddie Alvarez won his lightweight belt on July 7, 2016. Dos Anjos was defeated by Eddie Alvarez via technical knockout in the first round. Eddie Alvarez is quite pathetic for holding a short reign. After taking the belt from Rafael dos Anjos on July 7, 2016 via knockout in the first round, the Notorious came to rob his lightweight division throne in the second round via technical knockout. It was the UFC 205 event that took place on November 12, 2016, at Madison Square Garden, New York. Conor McGregor, who was even extraordinary from his debut fight on April 6, 2013 against Marcus Brimage via knockout in 1 minute, has managed to win the featherweight belt from Chad Mendes at UFC 189, after 5 fights in UFC. Then Conor McGregor made new history in the UFC, when he combined the UFC lightweight belts by defeating Eddie Alvarez on November 12, 2016, at UFC 205. Eddie Alvarez lost via technical knockdown in the second round. After his phenomenal crossover fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr., McGregor returns to the UFC to challenge the undefeated Dagestani fighter, Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's because McGregor vacated his lightweight belt after not fighting for a long time. The belt was then contested by Khabib vs Al Iaquinta, which was then won by Khabib at UFC 223 on April 7, 2018. Then Conor McGregor met Khabib at UFC 229 on October 6, 2018, and officially lost the throne. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib is the only UFC fighter who doesn't have a losing record. After winning the vacant lightweight belt over Al Iaquinta, he was able to defend his belt in his next 3 fights. They are Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. Khabib Nurmagomedov then vacated his throne and hung up his boxing gloves after the death of his father, due to exposure to COVID-19, after fighting Justin Gaethje at UFC 254 on October 24, 2020. Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira fought over the inheritance from Khabib by fighting Michael Chandler at UFC 262 on May 15, 2021. Oliveira managed to win the fight via a knockout in the second round. Dustin, who chose to fight Conor McGregor first, finally had the chance to win the belt from Oliveira. They met on December 11, 2021 at UFC 269, but unfortunately Poirier failed to win Oliveira's belt. UFC 280, which took place on October 22, 2022, was the last time Oliveira held the lightweight belt, because Islam Makhachev won the belt via arm triangle submission in the second round. Islam Makhachev. Now Islam Makhachev has held the belt he has wanted for years. His next task is to beat the best opponents that will come next. The opponent can come from anywhere, from the lightweight division itself or from another division that has moved up in class. Can Makhachev hold on to his belt and walk away with grace like his brother, Khabib Nurmagomedov? Write your opinion in the comments column. Don't forget to like and share the video if it's useful. Thanks for watching, and see you in another video.